Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I probably am not going to read any poems today, but what I wanted to do was read something about Coney Island. So, I decided to find some found text, and I would love to credit where I got this from, but it's someone's blog, and the blog is called My Hair is Everywhere. So look for that. I think you can Google it. My hair is everywhere. But unfortunately, when I went to the profile, I couldn't find any information about who this person was. So, in the voice of this person, my Coney Island stories. Early in January, I read that the Astroland rocket has been removed from Coney Island, and that the whole honky-tonk area will be revamped into something completely un-Coney Island. Brooklyn-based called it a dismantling of Brooklyn's storied past, and it brings me back to all the times I spent creating my own stories on its shores. By the very early 1990s, the graffiti was gone, and the trains were upgraded to the silver-style trains that are still running on some lines. I used to take the B train from 20th Avenue in Brooklyn to Grand Street in Manhattan for elementary school. The ride took about 35 minutes door to door, and I would sleep with my legs dangling and with my head on my mom's purse on her lap. The poles on the train were more elaborate then, and there were actual swiveling handles above the seats onto which passengers can hold. One detached from his pole one day and fell on my mother's thigh. The handles didn't look heavy, but the weight of it, coupled with gravity, gave my mother a nasty bruise. She always told me that if my head had been there, I would have died from the head trauma. The trains frequently were rerouted on the weekend, so in order to get into Manhattan or to get home from Manhattan, we'd have to go all the way to the last stop, Stillwell Avenue, Coney Island, before we were on our way to our destination. Most of the trains would empty out during the summer when all the families exited to go to the beach. Generally, I was more freaked out than not by the station because the trains always had to release pressure with a huge whoosh, and because the people looked sketchy, dirty, violent, drunk. There were always cops around though. My dad had surgery to retrieve a large kidney stone when I was 7. He spent a month recuperating, and we hung out a lot after I came home from school and on the weekends when my mom had to work. We went to the Coney Island beach one weekend, and as we were walking on the sand, he dared me to outrun him. He told me he still felt weak from the surgery, but wanted to prove to himself that he can sprint like a perfectly healthy man. I ran off on the sand, but he soon caught up with me. I stopped, grinning at his victory, when he suddenly keeled over and dropped down to the sand, groaning. I thought I had played a part in killing my dad and started to panic. He then looked up at me and smiled. He looked so proud. I started bowing, of course. I remember another time at Coney Island, when he took me to the aquarium. My dad got up one day and told me he felt really bored. Let's do something. We ended up staring at the penguins, breathing in the fishy aquarium smell all afternoon. I translated the info plaques next to all the tanks for him, and we trapseed around the room looking at species of fish. I mean, this wasn't just a random day with my dad. This was something seemingly casual.